Hello and welcome to The Rabbit Hole with me, Graham Hughes and Rachel Harris. How you doing, Rachel? You okay?
Oh, ups and downs, rounds and rounds, trans in the UK. Yay!
Well, we could talk
But
about that a bit if you want, but we
no,
were going
I
to talk
don't
about
want
movies.
to.
Just
No,
about
we're doing
movies
well.
instead. Everything but
Lots of
politics.
things are happening, lots of good stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, agenda creators will be watching this. They think they're winning, but there's a lot of good stuff happening.
Cool.
Wink.
Okay, right. So we've got Chris C in the chat. We've got Scott. We've got Colin in there as well. We've got Alan Jackson. We've got Elle in there. Empire better than New Hope. Ooh, controversial opinion. Not. Sarah Davis is in there. Hello, sir. We've also got Attila and others. If you'd like to join our beautiful friends in the beautiful chat, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel and wait for 6 hours. Sorry. It's subscribers only, really, this episode.
It is.
Yes, because we don't want any trolls. They're going to fuck off.
There are too many trolls. There are more channels that trolls can go on. This is a nice channel.
This is a nice channel. They've got loads of other channels to go. Anyway, Rachel, okay, let's do this. Let's get ready to ramble!
Hooray.
Yes.
So we're doing, I've got 15 films.
You've got 15.
15 where they're all the second films where I'm arguably going to, are they better than the first?
Ooh.
So last time it was, should they have made the remake?
Yes.
This week is the second film of a franchise better than the first?
Okay, what have you got?
Right, so these are not in any particular order. So
okay, we'll put them in an order.
All right. All right. So starting off with Mad Max 2.
Yes.
Mad Max 1.
Much better.
All right. Ta-da! We agree.
But unfortunately, it does star Mel Gibson.
Yeah, troublesome now.
Troublesome.
Can't watch Frasier anymore or any of the Rambo films. Oh dear. I know, it's all a bit tricky.
Mad Max, the original Mad Max, was a zero budget movie made by a bunch of lads with their dad's credit card or something. And George Miller, the director at the time, he was like a full-time accountant or a lawyer or so. He had his own thing going on, and they were like, "Oh, could you make a movie?" And he's like, "Okay then." So he really wants to do this film. We want to do Mad Max. But then Mad Max 2 was big budget. It was big Hollywood studio got behind it. Yeah. He got to do the stunts he wanted to do. He got to film it how he wanted to do it. And it really did set the tone for post-apocalyptic films for the next 20, 30 years.
It did. And it wasn't, because Mad Max 1 wasn't apocalyptic, right? It was about to happen. It's kind of like now, right? Yeah. And it was like, so Mad Max 2, it had happened. It was so in a way. I mean, I know the only pretext problem with all the Mad Max films and Waterworld is they spend all this time, as I've said to you before, riding around looking for petrol. And if they didn't ride around looking for petrol, then they wouldn't have to ride around looking for petrol because stay where you are, grow stuff, have fun. But running around looking for petrol is kind of like, that's just don't do it.
Well, also, I mean, this might be a bit controversial, but Mad Max Fury Road, if you see that as a remake, because it doesn't really follow on from the Mad Max films because the timeline doesn't work with
it's just a different universe, is it?
It's Max. I mean, he's supposed to be a legend, isn't he? So it's not necessarily the same Max Rockatansky. Just two people who happen to be hanging out in the Australian outback with the same car. Yeah, both called Max. But yeah, Mad Max Fury Road, the follow-up Furiosa, I think I enjoyed it more.
I haven't seen that one yet. So there you go.
Both very good. I mean, maybe not better. Maybe like at a par. Furiosa had Thor in it. Chris Hemsworth, and he's fucking brilliant in it. He's hilarious. He's a hilarious, sadistic psychopath. I'll forgive any psychopath if they make me laugh.
I'm going to put Fury Road in then as a sequel, better than the first.
Well, no, I'm saying if we start it again, it's a remake, isn't it, rather than the sequel? So, and I'll say maybe Furiosa is just a little bit better. It's just a little bit better. But then Furiosa doesn't have a guy on the back of a massive war rig with an electric guitar that spits fire
Yeah. Okay.
on two bungees.
Yeah.
I mean, just brilliant.
I think a reboot is all right to say, because we've done it with Spider-Man a few times, and we could say arguably that the Calvin Universe Star Trek films with Chris Pine, the second film's better than the first.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah. So can I give you one that I think that might be on your list?
Go on.
Evil Dead 2. For the same reason that Mad Max 2 is better. Because it had a bigger budget. Because they made like this little art house student film, Evil Dead. And then they kind of remade it.
Yeah.
They kind of just remade the same film again.
Yeah,
and
that's
called it a sequel.
No, I'm happy to put that on. And I agree.
Evil Dead 2.
Yeah. I mean, you can argue about anything. Like, I mean, First Blood is a Rambo film, is a great film.
Yeah.
Lots of people prefer the second because it's big budget, it's studio, it's all that stuff. So lots of people who come to it just like that.
It's a very different film, though.
But it is a very different film. Like, and I still the first one because it was a bit cleverer and a
Mad
bit dark.
Max 1 and 2, it's kind of the same film. It's a progression of this guy who's lost everything, whatever.
Yeah.
Evil Dead, definitely a progression.
Yeah. Okay, then. Empire Strikes Back.
You see, I think about this because I'm a huge Star Wars fan. And it's a wonderful film. It really is. Co-written by Leah Brackett, who was one of the best scriptwriters of the golden era of Hollywood. You know those great lines in it? I love you, I know. That's Leah Brackett.
She used at the pyramids.
Yes. But she used to write the film noir. She used to write film noir stuff in the 40s and 50s. I think Empire Strikes Back might have been the last film she worked on.
Yeah.
And so the script is a lot better. Special effects are better. It gets straight into the action. One of the annoying things about the original Star Wars film is nothing happens for the first 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is fine because they have to build the world and build the universe, which they do relatively well.
Yeah.
But would Empire Strikes Back stand up on its own as a film if there were no other films connected to it? I don't think it would.
Oh, no, you're right. That's a good argument. I like that.
Whereas Star Wars stands up on its own. It's a self-contained film. And the henchmen get away at the end. But I don't know. I know this is going to because this is something that Star Wars fans argue about all the time. And then we just agree that Return of the Jedi is a bit shit. The first two are absolute movie magic. So, I mean, in the same way that Furiosa and Mad Max are kind of on a par, I'll say the original Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back, I'll put them on the par.
Yeah, okay.
And I'll say that Andor blows them both out the water.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I'm just let it go.
I'm in love.
I haven't seen it yet. Okay, so let me just throw in the Star Trek curse. So the Star Trek curse being the even films being better than the odd number films.
Yeah.
And this runs right through the franchise. So motion picture under the Captain Kirk. Motion picture, good film, but long, boring, bad CGI in the telly. Star Trek 2, Rafa Khan, sex on a stick.
Really, really good.
Yeah, better. You could run it on its own.
Yeah.
Could have run that straight after the 60s season. You didn't need motion picture.
Yes.
So, okay, so that's easy peasy. And it's camp as hell, and I love it.
Yes.
And loads of great lines that I quote all the time, and my poor wife. Then you go to the Picard franchise, first film generation.
Are we going to skip Are we going to skip Search for Spock and Voyage Home and the Final Frontier?
We're talking about so Search for Spock. Oops.
Yeah.
Then you go Voyage Home, really, really good. Then you go Search for God. Oh dear. Then you go for
Why does God need a spaceship?
Yeah, excuse me. And then I like my best line in that is goes, "It's me, it's your brother, Cyborg."
And then there's the Undiscovered Country for No Country for Old Men.
That's a great film.
Yeah, it is good.
Plummer in there. Oh, Kirk, have you not seen? It's just great. Was it Shakespeare's not good unless you've heard it in the original Klingon.
Elle is saying Khan, possibly like that, and Anne is saying Wrath of Khan. Oh yeah, for one thing, Khan was so tasty,
fantastic,
and it was the same actor. It was the same actor from the TV show as well.
Yeah.
The Space Seed was the name of the show. But you got to say about Star Trek: The Next Generation. Generations was fucking shite.
Okay, so we are going to fall out over this because first one, Generations is rubbish. Yeah, it's good that it came, but then First Contact.
That's great. It's good. It's okay. Great.
And then
why are we going to fall out?
We're not. Sorry. Yeah. We agree. I know. I'm just not used to us agreeing. No, it's good. So yeah, First Contact. Brilliant.
That's what you're saying. I agree with you.
First Contact.
I'm sensing hostility, Captain.
We're back to that again.
We were talking yesterday about how useless Troy is. She's just kind of like someone's crying and she goes, "They're crying, Captain. They're clearly upset." And I'm like, "You're an empath."
But I was quoting Big Red Dwarf because I said I'd be hugging Troy, but I'd be thinking about Tasha. That's the Barney Rubble.
Barney and Wilma. But I'd be thinking of Wilma. Yeah. But so Star Trek, the Generations is fucking awful. But I mean, I think that's a bit unfair, and I think that Star Trek's a bit unfair, and I'll say why. Mad Max, the original, and Evil Dead, the original, and some other Star Wars, the original. It's great, the original's really good.
Yeah.
So to improve on that it's a bit of a task.
The series were good. The series were the first thing, and the first film was like
there were some episodes that had tribbles in, or the bloody holodeck malfunctioned again for some reason.
Yeah,
who
designs holodecks?
I don't know, some psychopath.
Health and safety gone mad on a starship.
What happens, Captain? Oh, the holodeck's gone wrong again. They should have one of those signs that says, like, how many days with that incident in the holodeck.
38 people killed this month on the holodeck.
Like, it's supposed to be like their equivalent of the gym and a park, isn't it? And somewhere to be outside and...
Yeah, I'm going to put this switch in for holodeck safeties off. Sorry, why are we turning the safeties off? Why is there a switch that does that?
Going back a while, Colin Thompson in the chat saying the Odyssey was better than the Iliad, which I completely agree with. Not least because I call my travel to every country in the world the Odyssey, but the Odyssey expedition. But my 4-year journey of the soul.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Odyssey is better than the Iliad, and that's the very first sequel of the very first book that we know of in the Western canon.
Also the name of the spacecraft in Apollo 13, the Odyssey. There you go.
Yes. Named after 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Hey, there you go.
Full circle.
So the only problem with the Picard films is that obviously Generations bad, The Curse. First Contact good. Then you're sort of going into Insurrection bad. Nice story, but it's not... I mean, the only good thing is that every time you put Riker in charge of the Enterprise, he totals it, which is quite good.
Male drivers.
Yeah, he does. Crashes it into a planet, and then ejects the warp core in the new one. And then the last one, Nemesis, which I kind of liked. So it's an even number, but a lot of people hated it.
Mad Max in it, hasn't it?
But yeah, and he's like, "Hello, Jean-Luc.
Hello, Jean-Luc.
Why have you kidnapped me? Because I missed you.
Well, I'm a clone of you for some reason. That makes no sense.
And Commander, you and I will have a conversation about loyalty." I love so camp. Yeah, he had a breakdown doing that role and didn't really enjoy it at all.
Everyone hated it.
I loved it. I thought it was great. That's
but that's going on a bit. I'm talking about like first sequels, I think, without going entirely down the franchise route.
Yeah, okay. So, Aliens 2, let's move on. Aliens 2.
It's not called Aliens 2, it's called Aliens, and it's the sequel to
Aliens.
Because there's more than one. In the first one, there's only one. And in the second one, there's more.
A lot.
Sorry, in the first one, there's one. In the second one, there's more than one.
A lot.
In the third one, there's at least three.
At least three.
Oh, there isn't. Oh my god. Okay, so what do we got here? Star Wars, Generations,
Star Trek franchise, and also in the Chris Pine. First one really, really boring. Second one better.
Okay, so I think that Alien and Aliens are, to me, I think they're a bit like Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back. I think they're both excellent films, and thing is, Alien is a different genre, although it continues the same story, and it kind of makes sense. And Aliens doesn't shit all over everything that happened in the first one, which really annoys me when people do that in films. Alien is haunted house in space. Aliens is a war film. It's Vietnam, but it's aliens.
Yeah,
it's a war film in space.
They come at night mostly.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree with that. I think they are. I mean, I love Alien. I mean, it's a classic. It scared the crap out of me as a kid. So yeah, I'm happy to go with the Aliens. You know, they are. It does stand alone, but would it be better? Would it, in a way, the first film adds to making the second film so good?
Yes, yeah. We've got a couple of super chats coming. One's from Dark 4x4. Thank you. Sorry, I'm late. Graham said he'll insult me if I pay him. So basically, Dark 4x4 is asking you if you want Dark 4x4 to take over from me.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's fine. I did say you can. You know, if people want to be trolls, the secret is pay money, and then we won't boot you and mute you. Just pay me money, and you can call me whatever you like. Not my guests though. Bastards. Right. Paula, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. I just can't watch sci-fi. Keep putting planet-sized holes in the sci part. Yeah, Paula, I really enjoy hard sci-fi, like when it is something like The Martian, which could happen. And that's the difference between science fiction and science fantasy. And you could argue it's a spectrum. So Star Wars is way more over the science fantasy end of things. I mean, it literally has dragons and wizards and levitation and magic fucking swords, enchanted swords. I mean, fuck's sake, it's pure fantasy. But then, you know, a lot of Star Trek's fantasy as well. Yeah, the idea of being able to visit other planets and they all look a bit like humans, but they've just got a bit of bubble gum stuck to their forehead. I don't. One of the things I loved about The Martian is they used actual, real life scientific ways of getting out of the problem. And I know for a fact, because I've seen some documentaries on the making of Star Trek, because I'm a nerd, they'll just put, like, in the script, they'll put insert techno babble here. And that's when they'll talk about the tachyons and the fucking dilithium crystals.
I mean, you know, there has been technologies that have come out of Star Trek. It's about imagination. You need imagination for some science. I mean, you know, but I totally get. The Martian was like, we're gonna math the shit out of this. You know, I get that's what you do.
So that would and 2001: A Space Odyssey, that would be very much on the side of pure sci-fi. Star Wars, pure science fiction, fantasy. Sorry, pure sci fantasy. And then in the middle, I'd say Star Trek's about there because it does do some silly bits like
I think I you know, like Event Horizon is real science, right? I mean, that is
real fucking terrifying science. But
terrifying.
Just to come back to something, I'd like to put this out to the chat as well. I want to know what sequels you think fuck the original. Like, absolutely negated everything that happened in the original, because this happens quite a lot in movies, especially horror films, where you follow. And Alien 3 did this, where they kill off the characters from the last movie, and you were like, what the fuck was the point of that?
And then they bring them back.
No, they don't. Well, they brought back Ripley, but they didn't bring back Noose or Hicks, did they?
Oh, but it was annoying. Yeah,
I know she was annoying, and she was too old to be in the sequel. But
it's back to your child in Jaws thing, isn't it? They're really annoying. Everyone diving in the water to save the child. Leave the child alone. You're like, oh, I've got to save the child. Everyone dies. It's like...
But yeah, so there was no need for Ripley to go down and go and get her.
No.
Because she did all that. She burnt all the eggs. The queen came out and she said, get away from me, you bit. Blew her out the airlock. There was no point in any of that. Because the queen had the secret alien egg under her arm all along that you just didn't see for some reason.
Yeah, they're not very good. That's always a bit of a flaw in all the Alien films. They're like, we've won! And then like, let's get in the pod and not really check the shit with torches and guns just to make sure none of the spidery things have got on board. No, that won't have happened. Let's get in the pod. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. Everything will be fine. Yeah, I'm not even going to talk about Prometheus and Alien Covenant. So shite. So shite. There's an Alien TV show coming out, Alien Earth. Starts in I want to say August this year. It's going to be on Disney, which is really funny because it's got like an advert where it's all like alien eggs and face huggers and xenomorphs.
So why?
It's like Disney. I'm like, What?
Oh, my child.
Yeah.
Okay, let's throw another one while we're waiting for people's seconds. Terminator 2.
Oh, yes. Again,
You're
I'm
doing
going to be awkward. I'm going to say it. I think they're on a par.
Yeah.
I think they're on a par.
Big budget in number 2.
Yeah, no. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It kind of negates what happens in number 1 a little bit. But that's
Yeah.
fine. That's fine. It's not too bad. It is a continuation of the original idea.
Or Reese. He comes back to save her. And then,
I was talking the other day on my show about how ridiculous it is that you got Arnie. He looks like fucking Arnie. And the robots made this guy to like sneak in and infiltrate the humans and then kill them all. Because they would go, oh yeah, this muscle-bound guy from the 80s. He's obviously a ragged survivor from the nuclear apocalypse. Because we all look like this in the future. Like
Paradigm system, series 2000, 1000.
Do you know where the nearest Holland and Barrett is? I need my protein shake.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Beefcake. Yeah. You're real funny. I kill you last.
Yes.
My bro was annoyed with Generation, says Anne. He said one of the things that made Picard so cool was that he didn't have kids, etc. The next, he's wrapped in joy in a home with a wife and lots of kids.
Yeah.
June Part 1 was good, but June Part 2 is on a whole nother level, says Tommy. Ooh, I'm going to agree with that.
Yeah. So June Part 2 was in mine, so that's good.
Yeah. Hellboy 2, Golden Army. Yeah, that was better than Hellboy. Yeah, I'd say that was... And that's one of those where the original's good, sequel's better. Highlander 2, awful.
Awful.
And that's one that shit all over the original, because they're like, oh no, it's not magic, they're aliens from another planet.
Which one was the shield? Where he built the shield. He saved the Earth from ultraviolet light, builds a shield.
Yeah.
And the world goes to shit.
That's Highlander 2, I think.
Yeah.
Just fucking awful.
Yeah. Not good.
Yeah.
So that was a good choice. Yeah.
I mean, when it comes to Highlander films, I think they should use their own mantra. There should be only one.
Spanish peacock. It's a kind of magic.
Don't make me do my Sean Connery impression again. No one likes it when I do that, Rage. Dark 4x4, thank you very much for the £10 super chat. Oh, I'm glad you don't wish to insult me, but I'm actually asking. I think it'll cheer you up. I'm paying, and your words will do no more harm than what others have done for free. Oh, thanks, Dark 4x4. I'm not mean to anyone in the chat. I'm just mean to politicians who are out feathering their nests when they could be making our lives so much better.
Come on, Wesley Streeting.
Shut up, Wesley. I ever see him at the conference. If he's going to make his speech, he's about to get up, and as soon as he starts speaking, I'm going to shout out, "Shut up, Wesley!"
I don't want him on my bridge. Okay, let's throw another one in then. Lord of the Rings: Two Towers.
Nah.
Oh, there's a big debate on that being a better film than the first one.
Again, it would make no sense without Fellowship. You've got to build the world, and that's kind of boring.
Is it a better film though? Anyway, I know. Okay, assuming you had to have the first bit, is it a better film?
No, because I mean, obviously the first one isn't a standalone because it ends with them going off towards.
And Sean Bean does something really unusual and die in it.
That's in Fellowship. That's Fellowship. Yeah.
Yeah, in the first.
Yeah, he dies. Yeah.
That's what makes the first one slightly good because he does die, unusually for Sean Bean.
I'm going to say the same as I said for Dune and Terminator and Aliens and Star Wars. I'm sorry, I think they're both.
All right.
They're both on a par. They're on a par. You can't have one without the other.
Right, I'm going to throw one at you now then that does stand alone and arguably on the forum. So I did a bit of Top Gun Maverick.
Ooh. Okay, I'll go with that. Yeah.
Because because Top Gun, great film, brilliant at the time. I was a teenager when it was on. I danced and snogged to many a song from Berlin. And I really thought it was a great film, but it's aged. Yeah. And then you get this new super duper film and it's like almost standalone. You can get that he's a bit of a naughty pilot, got kicked out, and but a lot of people online really like it. Now that might be a generational thing who don't remember the effect of Top Gun 1 at the time.
Yeah.
But so what's your view? Do you think it's better? Standalone?
I'm going to say no.
Ah,
Do you know why? It's a good film.
yeah.
It's a good film, but it didn't have the same cultural impact as Top Gun, the original. Like
Okay.
Top Gun paved the way for those homoerotic movies of, muscle bound men
Yeah.
fighting in jets and playing basketball and sweaty heat.
Yeah.
Um,
Whatever gets your rocks off.
yeah, there was the Hot Shots films that came as a piss
Yeah.
take of Top Gun. Top Gun Maverick never really had that impact. And
Yeah.
what was the song? What was the song from Top Gun Maverick? Was there a Take My Breath Away? I don't think there was.
No, that's true. There was not
So
Berlin.
I'm gonna say Top Gun just because it was such a product
Okay.
of its time. And
No.
I'd say the same about Star Wars as well. Like Star Wars changed the landscape of filmmaking for a generation. Well, actually, for
Yeah.
generations now. Um,
Yep.
and showed that anything within your realm of imagination was possible to put on the screen,
Yeah.
and that's fantastic. So yeah. No,
Wow.
I'm gonna say, I think they're both good films, but I think Top Gun
Okay.
would be higher for me.
Right. Okay. I'm not winning over on here. So let's move to, okay, depending on how you look at this, Patriot Games being the follow-on from Red October,
Hunt for Red
or
October.
if you prefer Red October.
No, I was just saying it's the Hunt. It's a sequel, isn't it? But it's a different actor
It
because
is
it was
different Jack Ryan.
Thingy Baldwin, and then it was
I'm
Harrison
happy
Ford.
to take Clear and Present Danger being the second film after Patriot Games, if you want to do it that way. With the then you got Harrison Ford in both.
Okay. I prefer Hunt for Red October over Patriot Games. I prefer Clear and Present Danger over Patriot Games as well.
Okay.
I just Sean Bean's accent in it is just shite.
He unusually dies in that film.
He does die in that film. I think we've done a whole episode on films.
We've done an episode on Sean Bean's death two episodes ago.
Yeah, indeed. Naked Gun 2? No, I don't know. Gremlins 2, the new batch, was a crazier film, says Ernie Burns. I liked it, but is it better? I fucking love Gremlins 2. Gremlins 2, the baddie in that, just like the baddie in Back to the Future, is based on Donald Trump.
The Biff timeline.
Yeah, but in Gremlins 2, they're in like a tower block, and it's a shopping mall downstairs, and then there's a TV studio there, and it's the guy who owns it is basically Donald Trump.
Yeah. Boo.
Yeah, we don't like it. And he's obsessed with the money. He's like, "Where's the money? What about the money?" Okay.
No, that's the point.
So
Clear and Pleasant Danger. You like? Let's say Clear and Pleasant Danger followed Red October with that.
You're missing a film out there.
Well, it's got some good scenes.
I like Harrison Ford more than I like Alec Baldwin.
Yeah. What about then the Sum of All Fears, which was like
Ben Affleck.
Yeah, I like the opera bit with the jet flying across the Israeli desert and the opera music at the beginning. I really like that. And actually, it was interesting because the Nazis are it's the Nazis trying to get America and Russia to blow each other up, so that Germany can rise again, right? I mean, and that's quite sinister because there's a bit of that going on now, right? And the bit where he does the big conference he's doing the big conference in Europe, and he puts his watch down and there's a swastika on the back, and it's like, ooh, dark. I don't know, there was something about that film I quite liked, but it was different. I don't think it's better than the Harrison Ford films, but I liked it.
We've got a suggestion for Yes Prime Minister being better than Yes Minister.
Yeah, that's a good series, not a film, but I like the cut of your jib, whoever came up with that. Yeah, you like that?
Colin says The Hobbit is a more popular book than The Silmarillion. Well, because The Silmarillion is like trying to read the fucking Bible, mate. Plus, The Silmarillion isn't really a sequel, is it?
My wife has been struggling with that book for quite a long time.
Tell her to watch Lord of the Rings, the films, the extended edition, and then watch the sort of the voiceover things with the script writers, and they talk about the history and the lore. Because I tried to read The Silmarillion when I was a kid, and I just couldn't get into it because I was like, what the hell? I couldn't keep track of it because each chapter is a different story in a different place hundreds of years after or before the next one.
Yeah.
There's no through line really, except Melkor or Morgoth is running around being horrible. But yeah, it really, really helped me. And after watching the Lord of the Rings trilogy, I finally got around to reading the Silmarillion. And it's excellent. It's really good. But it's descriptive of of the world of the legendarium of J.R.R. Tolkien.
Partly.
Tommy Lee says Godfather 2, Terminator 2, Blade Runner 2049, Dune 2, Ghost in the Shell, Innocence would be my top 5. There's a lot of good films in that.
Godfather 2's on my list to discuss. So there you go.
Rama 2 is considered better than Rendezvous with Rama. But they haven't made that into a film yet. So, I don't think they made it into a film. Maybe they have. Ernie says, to be fair, Generations isn't the worst movie ever. It's just that Trekkies have a lot of investment in the series and got upset. Season 1 of Next Generation had some really bad episodes. It really did.
Yeah.
It took till about season 3 before it really got into its stride.
Yeah, it's what I said in the chat. Nobody's more critical than Star Trek fans.
Yeah, but come on, the way that Kirk dies. Sorry, spoilers. Is shite.
It was fun.
He falls off a fucking bridge. Okay. He dies like a henchman in a Bond film.
Anything for the captain of the Enterprise.
Bye. Yeah, Fright Night was good. Fright Night 2 was dog shit. Yeah, well, there's a lot. If we were going to talk about all the bad sequels, we'll be here all night, all tomorrow, all next week, all month. There were so many bad sequels.
We can throw some in at the end. We've got 2 more, and then you can tell me if you've got any. But Bourne 2, The Supremacy.
Is it then? Is it? It's Bourne Identity.
Well, yeah, the first one meets the German girl, Mini Cooper.
But Legacy was the 4th one. So what was the 3rd one? Ultimatum.
Ultimatum. Yeah. So the second film in that was because the first one was a bit more low budget. Mini with the German girl that he ends up going out with, and then she dies at the beginning of the second film, and then it's quite big budget. Bit of chasing, much more people on computers going, oh, I've got the Tesla cameras up, he's in this street.
I'm gonna sound terrible now. I can't remember anything that happens in those movies. It's ironic because it's about a guy who can't remember who he is. Okay, it's just a bunch of stuff. I don't know.
I could put that down as the second one's better than the first.
I saw it at the cinema, but it was like 20 years ago now. Question about Sanity, really, really good one. Silence of the Lambs.
Got that. Now, here's a good one. Silence of the Lambs. Because everyone thinks that it's Hannibal's is the second film, but Silence of the Lambs is the second film.
Hannibal's the 3rd film. The first film was Manhunter, directed by Michael Mann, with Brian Cox, the scientist who used to play the keyboard in DV.
Oh, look at me, looking at the stars.
Look at me, playing Hannibal Lecter. Oh no, it was the other Brian Cox. I always get that mixed up.
Oh yeah.
And Lecter with a K.
Yep.
For some reason. And it was from the book Red Dragon. Robert Harris, was it, who wrote Red Dragon?
Yeah, it was.
And they did eventually make a Red Dragon.
A Red Dragon film with one of
after Hannibal.
Yeah, it's got, what's his name? It was one of the brothers that was in, the guy that was the bishop in the Conclave. Wasn't he the killer in that?
Ray Fiennes.
Ray Fiennes.
Might have been. I remember it had the guy from Fight Club in it.
Yeah.
Ed Norton. It had him in it. And
in Manhunter.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No, in Red Dragon, which came out.
Red Dragon. Okay. Yeah. All right.
And it was like, Hannibal was okay. It was directed by Ridley Scott, one of my favorite directors.
Yeah, it was a bit good film. I liked it.
It's a bit silly. In the book, Clarice Starling falls in love with Hannibal Lecter and they go off on a big murder spree together.
Brilliant.
They changed the film because they were like, that's really stupid. We're not going to do that.
Yeah.
But it did have the line, I flew halfway around the world to watch you run. I mean, how romantic, you creepy old bastard. The Red Dragon they made, it was Brett Ratner who directed it. He was one of my least favorite directors in Hollywood. He's one of these very jobbing directors. He doesn't bring any kind of style. He doesn't have a visual style. I'll make fun of I'll make fun of Tim Burton films, but at least he's got a style. At least you sit down, you start watching a film, and you go, "Oh, this is directed by Tim Burton," or it's someone aping Tim Burton.
What's Hannibal's? Did you watch Hannibal's the series?
Yes,
that was quite good.
That was fantastic. I love that. Will Graham,
pretty dark.
Really? I don't know. But yeah, there was homoerotic undertones. They made a big. There was a thing about it all being very beautiful when he killed people and skinned them alive, and it was just like
it was Le Chiffre, wasn't it, from Casino Royale played Hannibal?
Yes, it was Mix Middleton, whatever his name is, the Danish guy who advertises Carlsberg Lager. He's very good. He's
a very pretty man.
I think that Hannibal, the TV show, is one of the best shows that was made in the last 15 years. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it was,
and it's got Gillian Anderson from The X-Files in it.
That's right.
Fetching as ever. I've got a couple of question about Santi. Thank you very much for that super chat. And also, Alistair, thank you. £2 super chat. Akira! So I'll do it like they do it in the cartoon. Akira! Groundbreaking anime. Graham, your thoughts. First of all, fucking love Akira. I used to have an Akira poster on the back of my door in my room when I was a kid. Neo, it was, what was the year it was set? Like 2025, was it 2029? And it said Neo Tokyo is about to explode, but it spelled out the letters of explode. So it was EXP. Absolutely loved Akira, but not a sequel. I don't think it was a sequel. It was based on a manga, based on a comic book series, but absolutely fucking fantastic, and really launched the medium of manga in this country and in America. If you can watch a copy of the original in Japanese with English subtitles, it explains things a lot better.
Perfect. I've not seen that.
It's a better translation. It's a better translation. Dog 4x4 says Mad Max Thunderdome.
It's got Tina Turner. Every time I think of the Thunderbone, I don't know. This is just my age. When I was a kid, we used to have this. There was a thing in the playground called a witch's hat, which was on a metal pole, and it used to be this thing. It was triangular and it had a wooden sort of edge on it, and it's the 70s, so like 900 kids would be on this thing, and it'd be rocking side to side. And kids would get their fingers trapped and fall off it and break legs. It was lethal. Excellent. And I always think, when I see the Thunderdome, when he goes in, I always think of the thing that nearly wiped us all out as kids in the 70s.
Yeah. Well, the thing is with Mad Max Thunderdome as well, I mean, 2 men enter, 1 man leave. But actually, Master Blaster was 2 people.
Yeah. Bit sexist,
so plus Max, that's 3 men entering.
Can't women go in there and fight?
And he killed Blaster, didn't he? But he didn't kill Master, I don't think. He was just crying. So actually, it was 3 men enter, 2 men leave. That's what they should have been chanting. But yeah, I mean, Mad Max 3 got a bit ridiculous because he met up with the kids, didn't he? I hate kids in films.
Oh yeah,
the best of times. Captain Walker, they call him Captain Walker. Captain Walker, take us to the Neverland, or whatever it was called. And
because they were all from the plane crash.
The plane crashed when the nuclear bomb went off, and they brought themselves up in their own little
a bit Lord of the Flies, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, which was an interesting story to explore, I guess.
Yeah,
within the Mad Max universe. Max didn't need to be there. It made him look like Captain Birdseye, just hanging around with a bunch of kids, weirdly on a train rather than a boat. And there was a train, and the train still went, like, it's a post-apocalyptic, right? And there's a big call for like these souped up mega vehicles and stuff, and they need obviously raw materials. And I'm assuming since by the time of Thunderdome, there's been a proper nuclear war. And they're not going to be able to, I don't know, travel easily to West Africa and mine out some fucking bauxite or something from Sierra Leone. So, just stay with me on this, right? I don't think the fucking tracks would still be there. I think someone would have come along and gone, hello, anyone got a tie iron? Anyone got a crowbar?
I wouldn't watch Snowpiercer if I was you then.
Well, there's no one out there in Snowpiercer.
No, but the tracks are still there after the big apocalypse.
Yeah, because they knew that they knew it was going to happen.
Oh, did they?
And the tracks are warm or something. Don't they warm the tracks up before the train gets to it? And it's a perpetual motion machine.
And Sean Bean's in it. Gravity. And I don't know if he dies in Snowpiercer.
Oh, I won't give anything away then.
Oh, he dies, doesn't he?
But it had what's her name? Uh, Jennifer
In,
Connelly. Jennifer
all
Connelly,
right.
who I've been in love with since I was a little kid, and she was a little kid, and now she's like in her late 40s. I'm in my late 40s. Still fancy her, but it feels wrong. Do you know what I mean? Like, I used to fancy her when she was in fucking Labyrinth, and to be fair, when I saw Labyrinth, I was just a little kid. She was just, only a few years older than me. But yeah, she's in it. She's awesome.
Is Sean in the series or the
Yes.
film? Both.
No, he's in the series.
Right.
In the film, it's got Captain America in it, Chris
Right.
Evans, not the one from TFI Friday, who married Billie Piper, if anyone remembers that far
love
back.
Billie Piper.
This is the TV series of Snowpiercer, which is okay. It's okay. I've only watched the first and second season. I haven't watched the third season, which is why I can't comment on Sean.
I'm thinking about.
I genuinely don't know.
Don't forget the Sean Bean. Before I move on to the next film, This City Is Ours with Sean Bean. Give it a good go. It's on the BBC iPlayer. This City Is Ours. Gangsters in Liverpool. It's great.
Okay,
we loved it. It's great, especially the opening scene.
Has it got Stephen Graham in it?
It's got
he's in everything these days.
No, it's got what's her name? The actress, something Graham's in it. Right, okay. Second film being better than the first. From Russia with Love.
Well, yeah. I think someone said in the chat earlier that every Bond film is better than Doctor No. I mean, Doctor No. I mean,
well observed. Wow,
he gets a big dose of radiation. This is the way they used to think about radiation in the 60s. He gets this big dose of radiation. Everyone else dies, and then he has like a shower, and they scrub him down, and he's like, oh,
yeah, with a broom.
With a broom, they scrub him down with a broom. And he's like, yeah, fine then. And the baddie's disabled, and he's crap, and there's a bit of xenophobia in there as well. And the only good thing about Doctor No, well, it established James Bond as a character, etc., and world building and all that jazz. The one thing I really liked about Doctor No is that apparently the advance posters in Japan before it came out were mistranslated, and it came out as James Bond in He Doesn't Need a Doctor. Which I love. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't care. It's just really funny. Doctor? No.
Yeah. He also drives in his car in the Doctor No is a bit right. He drives, I think it's a Talbot Horizon or something. It's some sort of 1500 thing, and it's really slight. It's not a very quick car. And he's got a reputation in all the books of loving really fast cars. But anyway, so it's a bit of as a sort of petrol head. All right. So good. We agree on From Russia with Love. Yep. Spider-Man 2.
Oh yeah.
Better than the first?
I'm tempted to say the same thing I said about Star Wars and Terminator and stuff, because the first Spider-Man film was brilliant. Why are we making
this program if you're going to say that on everyone?
No, but the first Spider-Man film was brilliant, but the sequel, it expanded on the world. It brought in a new interesting villain. Yeah. Sam Raimi, one of my favorite directors in Hollywood. He's the guy who directed The Evil Dead. It did what a sequel needs to do. It took the world of the original, expanded it, brought you in, and I think I could say that about Aliens and Terminator 2 and Dune 2
and you have
they they expand it, but without that first one, it would be a bit of a weird movie to have just as a sort of one-off. I've got one for you. I texted this to you earlier. The Colour of Money. There you go. That's a random fucking film. So 1985, I think. This is the film that Tom Cruise made around the same time he made fucking Top Gun.
And what's the... So I saw The Colour of Money at the time. I can't remember it. But what was the prequel?
The Hustler. So the original was The Colour of Money. The original was The Hustler.
Yeah.
They both had Sauce Man. What's his name? Fucking Thousand Island Dressing fella.
Oh,
Paul Newman. Paul Newman. Yep. In The Hustler, he plays the young hustler.
Yeah.
And then in The Colour of Money, he plays the mentor to the young hustler. And The Colour of Money is actually a Martin Scorsese film.
Yeah.
And it's a sequel.
I don't know. You see, because I remember The Hustler.
Yeah.
Showing my age.
Great film.
It's classic. I mean, it really is a good film.
It is a good film.
I like The Colour of Money. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say The Hustler's better. I like but I only possibly based on the fact my memory on The Colour of Money isn't great, but The Hustler I remember and I liked it. So, I'm just going to pin that. That's just
Okay.
a memory thing. So you can have it.
Okay.
You're going to argue that. I mean, you've been wrong on all the others,
Well,
but I like that one.
Hustler had one advantage. It didn't have Tom Cruise in it.
Oh, I like Mission Impossible films. I'm a big old Mission Impossible fan. Me, I like those. I mean, Tom Cruise films aren't bad. I mean, Live, Die, Repeat, I really liked, and Oblivion, all those sci-fi's. I kind of liked all those. Just as an aside, Tom Cruise films they're not bad.
Oh yeah. I mean,
know.
I went to the cinema to see Eyes Wide Shut, and I'm very glad that I did because
that was a great party. Did you go to that party out of the mask and it?
Because Stanley Kubrick had died a few months before the film came out. I think he just finished the edit the day before, and he died the next day. He's like, my work here is done. Poochie died on the way back to his home planet. It was like, bye, Stanley. But at the time, I was very much a huge Stanley Kubrick fan. I went to see it at the cinema, and I was a bit disappointed.
Yeah,
because it wasn't what I was expecting.
Right,
it's grown on me over the years.
Yeah,
I went to see it with a friend of mine, and when we came out, she was like, "I fucking hated that," and I was like, why'd you hate it? She said, "Well, because it's a classic man thing of." My wife fantasized about having sex with somebody else, so now I'm going to go off and have sex with all these prostitutes and go to his orgy and walk around New York like a miserable twat. And I was like, but that's the point. That it's a toxic masculinity, isn't it? It's the fact that he can't get over the fact that his wife could consider wanting to be with anybody else.
Yeah,
and the fragile male ego. And interestingly, it came out in the same year as Fight Club, which is also about fragile male egos.
It's dark. I mean, that film that manor house in the countryside with all the masks and they're all very powerful people, and they obviously, I mean, they do this shit anyway, but I mean, they in the film, this is how and he comes back and his friend's involved and goes, I just thought that was really dark. I just I don't know. I found that really disturbing at the time, but good film. Yeah, I liked it. Yeah.
Okay, so what have we got? Elbows Up Canada. Thank you very much to Canadian Ollerman for that. Men in Black or Men in Black 2? Absolutely Men in Black all the way. I'm sorry, but the sequel to that fucked me off because they brought back Tommy Lee.
He was a postman.
Tommy Thingy. What's his name?
Yeah, Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones. I must have said Tommy Lee Miller then. I was like, what the fuck am I on? Tommy Lee. They brought him back, and I thought it wrapped up really nicely at the end of the first one. And it should have been now Will Smith is the older mentor, and he takes someone young under his wings who doesn't do things the way that he does it, and he's got to learn. But they went, oh no, they were a fantastic pairing. It was a buddy cop comedy. Let's bring him back. And I just... No, that annoyed me.
I like those three films, but the first one is the best, I think.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's a bad film. I'm just saying in terms of like a sequel, it does that thing where it shits on the ending of the first film.
Yeah.
Can I talk about the worst sequel for doing that?
Go on.
The Star Wars sequel trilogy. The Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker.
You didn't like those films? I got those in 3D.
Well, they negate everything that happened in the original films. There it is, Episode 7. The Empire's back. It's exactly as it was. It's got a fucking another Death Star, which is even more powerful. It can kill 3 planets at once now. I mean, like, how many planets do they have to fucking blow up? And they got a quota. They got like, oh shit, we've only blown up 7 planets this week.
Yeah.
we've only massacred literally 57 billion life forms. So we need to go and kill some more. If only we could have some way of like destroying 3 planets all at the same time. Oh yeah, that'll save time. Yeah.
The bit where in number 7 where he takes his mask off for the first time, is it Ren, whatever his name is, the Reds. I always think. Yeah,
put the mask back on. That's what I think.
Put
it back on.
I was thinking of Harvest, Blue Harvest, Family Guy. If they remake that number 7, and he takes his mask off for the first time, and he's got that long black hair, and I was like, oh, I thought the Eagles had broken up. He had that real 70s vibe going on.
It's the Crow. Paula Thomas, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. How many sequels stand on their own? That's a good question. So, Colour of Money stand on its own. You don't need to have seen the what's it called? The Hustler. Mad Max 2 stands on its own. Evil Dead 2 stands on its own. I would argue Star Trek 2 stands on its own. You don't need to have seen the motion picture. In fact, I think that I saw the sequel before. Now, I'm not going to argue that Temple of Doom is better than Raiders of the Lost Ark, because it's not. And technically, it's a prequel because it's set the year before. But it is a standalone film. It works in its own right, and so do any James Bond film. You don't need to see.
Last Crusade stands on its own.
Last Crusade stands on its own. All those Indiana Jones, James Bond series type films. But yeah, Aliens stand on its own.
It does stand on its own. Aliens,
Terminator 2 stands on its own. Dune 2 doesn't.
She does do a bit at the beginning, talking about Reese coming back, Terminator. So Connor sends another one back.
Yeah, there's a setup. But I mean, that doesn't matter. I mean, every film has a bit of backstory.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily need to be explained, like in that fucking movie Solo, where they explain why Han Solo is called Han Solo. Like, fucking hell. Imagine if they had like a scene with Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker in an arcade, and he's playing Space Invaders, and like the inn falls off the sign for the arcade, and he goes, "That is what I will call myself." And you're like, oh, thank God. I always wondered why he chose the name Darth Vader. And you're like...
But Solo is such a bad film, because like, I love Rogue One, but Solo, it's like I get flashed by the Man in Black thing at the end, and I instantly forget the film. I've got it. And when my wife and I are looking, we go through all the we watch all the Bond films, we watch all the Star Trek films, all that sort of once a year-ish. And I get to the Solo film and I think, I don't know. I get it out. I go, I don't remember anything about this one. I always say it. Last 3 years, I don't remember anything about this film.
Fucking Darth Maul turns up at the end. God, nobody dies in the Star Wars franchise, and he's there. He was cut in half and chucked down a radioactive fucking... He was thrown down a reactor shaft. Cut in half. Thrown down... and he gets up in the morning. He goes, I've got a terrible headache. What did I drink last night? He's been cut in half. In fact, in the original cut of the movie, he wasn't cut in half, and it wasn't obvious enough that he was fucking dead. And so George Lucas changed it, so he was literally cut in half. Yeah. No coming back from that, mate. I don't care about the lightsaber cauterizing the fucking cut or whatever. No, he's a goner.
They do these resurrections. Like Boba Fett comes back, right? He falls into the heart of that bloody thing, and they bring him back.
And it burps. It eats him and fucking burps. And he's like, I'm fine. I had a rocket pack all along.
Yeah.
Really? What? And then, what about all the other people that fell in as well? What happened to them? Were they on top of him? And he just did he eat his way through?
I mean, all those spikes were pointing downwards, down into the stomach. You really didn't think he could blast up out of it.
And he went in as a young, sort of skinny, tall man, and he came out as this sort of fat Maori guy.
Yeah.
How did that happen? I come out as a fat Polynesian.
Now we're into plot holes.
I know. If he come out a bit skinnier, that would have made sense. But no, he gets eaten, and then he comes out fatter. Yeah. Surely the Sarlacc should have become.
So to finish off, then, has anybody got any sequels that sucked after the first film? The other way around,
because we've been talking about. Got loads. I mean, let's talk about the sequels that actually fuck the first film,
right?
Because that's how I feel about the sequel trilogy of Star Wars. It kind of negates the whole point of the original films. It's not an expansion of the universe.
Yeah, but if you've got to think about like fascism, you've had it in the 1800s, we've had it with the Nazis, we've got it all over again now. So surely the Empire, they run it the first time they do it, the second time they run the same strategy. We failed. What should we do? Let's build another Death Star. Hooray, bang! We failed. What do we do? Let's build another Death Star. Hooray! Yeah. I mean, isn't it? And you say it is sort of
what I would have done is a switcheroo. So if I had written the sequel Star Wars trilogy, no one asked me, but that's fine. I would have had it that the son of Leia and Han was a Jedi, and he starts seeing visions of the Emperor, and the Emperor gets in his head and he fucks him up and he turns him to the dark side, and then he starts a rebellion against the Republic, and so he's starting his own empire because the Emperor wants to sort of control the universe again through the Force, through the being a Force ghost. And so it turns the original films on their heads, whereas the insurrectionists are not plucky young rebels. They're actually the insurrectionists of January the 7th. Was it January the 6th? January 6th. Sorry.
January the 6th.
They call themselves the January the 7th. It's the next day.
Well,
No, January the 6th. Insurrectionists.
I know. Do you see they're suing the American government for 100 million and they're probably going to get it? Did you see that? After they've been unbelievable. Anyway, that's side.
No, politics.
Politics.
There's loads of bad films. There was a sequel, bad sequels. There was a sequel to King Kong called Son of Kong.
Okay.
Fucking awful. No one saw it. No one even talks about it to this day. Because we go, there's so many sequels around today. There's always been sequels in Hollywood. They've loved sequels. They couldn't get enough of sequels. Any movie that they made, they could just make it again.
Well, Superman was good. Superman 2, not so good, right? I mean,
you can get hold of the Richard Donner cut, I think, now.
Oh, okay.
Which is a lot better because they were filmed back to back.
Yeah.
And then Richard Donner, who went on to direct the Lethal Weapon movies, I think, he left, and it was Richard Lester who re-edited and reshot some scenes from.
Is that Richard Lester that was in the original Oliver, the little kid actor that became a director?
No. Richard Lester, I think, was the director of Hard Day's Night, maybe.
Right. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. I should literally have Internet Movie Database up on my screen so I can just reference it whenever I say stuff, just to make sure. Okay. And Alistair, thank you very much. Great call, Graham. I would watch that film. Thank you. Because it would make sense, wouldn't it? Like, they're the people in power, and then their kids get seduced by the dark side, and they've got to stop his stupid fledgling rebellion, and they've got to try and bring him back to the light. A redemption arc over 3 films, and it's all like, you can have it as that sort of scrappy, used universe. He's negotiating with drug dealers, spice runners, and stuff like that, the ne'er-do-wells of the universe. He's trying to get them together to rebel against his parents, basically, at the end of the day, because he's a kid. And that's what every kid wants to do. But just teenage rebellion in space, the wild one in space. What are you rebelling against? What do you got?
So let's film. Okay, it's not the second film that killed the franchise, but what about the Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull? Aha! Knew it. Yes, that did kill the franchise.
Did I ever send you Indiana Jones and the Heart of Darkness?
I don't think so.
I've got an entire script. that I came up with while I was in jail in Congo. I was in jail in Congo for 6 days.
Hoping for
no food. And I just cooked up in my head a really fantastic Indiana Jones film. It's set in the 1960s, the height of the Cold War. The Berlin Wall's just going up, and everything's all about to kick off. And the Nazis, the old Nazis who are still alive, who are working for the Americans, they break into the vaults under the Hermitage Museum, underneath the Winter Palace in St. Petersburg in the USSR, as Leningrad, as it was back then, and they steal Hitler's remains, and they take them to West Africa to resurrect Hitler using voodoo.
Oh, nice. I like the plot, but Hitler boys from Brazil. Hitler didn't die, right? You've not seen Chasing Hitler.
Anyway, I'll send you the script. It's really good.
It's really Chasing good. Hitler. If you want 3 series of why don't they open that door? These guys going, behind this is a secret door. We think Hitler went out of this door. Well, open it. Oh, here is a secret passage. Below here is a chamber. Well, go in there then. And they never do. But they were like, I think Hitler got away. He got to Tempelhof. He flew down. There was a submarine to Argentina. He lived in Argentina while they built a nuclear reactor to blow up New York, which they didn't do because Peron failed. And so then he was shipped off, and Bullman survived. He was in Paraguay.
My story's a bit simpler than this.
Facing Hitler. Yeah. It's a theory that he didn't die.
So yeah, but my story, the problem with it now is that his compatriot in the movie is someone played by Rachel Weisz, who is a Mossad agent in the 1960s. So she's like a Nazi hunter, and that's how they end up becoming sort of frenemies because they're both on the same mission. And he's substantially older than her, and she takes the piss out of him being such an old bastard. I don't think that would scan very well at the moment, given the current feelings about Israel. Not completely unjustified, I have to say. But I started thinking about it the other day. I was thinking, actually, if I could make it like a graphic novel.
Yeah, why not? People would buy it. There's a lot of fan fiction.
It's a fun romp, and it takes them to Israel, St. Petersburg, Berlin as the walls put up. They go to the Eagle's Nest, Hitler's
Oh, it's the Eagle's Nest. Yeah.
Summer
So
retreat up in
and
the
it's well
Alps.
named.
They go to Tunisia, Mali, Togoland. So there you go. Well, Togo, as it was then.
Yeah. No, I like it. It's a good. Okay,
plus, come on. If I came in to see you to like pitch an idea, and they went,
where
did you come up with this idea, Graham? Well, I was in jail in Congo, in solitary confinement in a cell that had blood smeared all over the walls, and I just came up with an idea called Indiana Jones and the Heart of Darkness.
Yeah, if I was Lou Grade, I'd go, here's some money, go and make it. There you go. It's what he used to do.
I need richer friends. I think that anyone who thinks they're going to be friends with me, they'll watch one of these episodes of me talking on the show, and I go on about how much I hate rich people, and they go, oh, I'm not going to be his friend though. I'll probably shoot myself in the foot saying all this. Yeah, rich people, they're lovely, aren't they? Don't we love rich people? Aren't they so nice? They're so generous.
Yeah, they're all on the list.
They've got such great ideas. Everything they do is good.
Yeah.
Can you spare a fiver?
Nose alert. Nose alert.
Paddington 2 is better than Paddington. Absolutely. I'll put that into the blurb about this, but Paddington 2.
I've only seen one. I have to get that's on my long list of films I'm catching up with.
Paddington's pretty good.
Idea. Yeah, I like that.
I do like that.
So,
Exorcist 2 was pretty bad. It was fucking awful. The Heretic? Was that Exorcist 2 The Heretic, was it called?
I think it was, yeah.
Awful. Firefly?
Ah, interesting, because the series was really, really good.
And Serenity was the film, wasn't it?
Serenity was the film, but it was paid for by the fans to finish it off, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was all right.
Lobbied. Yeah. And it had Monica Baccarin in, who I adore. But Josh Whedon, problematic.
You watch Stargate. If you watch Stargate, right? The SG-1 or the Stargate Atlantis or the universe, she's in a lot of those. And she was also
watching them.
Was also his wife in Homeland, the sergeant's wife.
Yeah.
Stargate is interesting. The film at the time when it first came out, the one with Kurt Russell, bombed in the cinema and everybody hated it. But now, because of SG-1, 10 seasons, 100 and whatever his episode, the film is now, it's a bit like it's made a comeback. People like it because it's got James Spader in it and of Boston Legal. Everyone loved him in Boston Legal and blah, blah, blah. All the Brat Pack films. But the Stargate film is now liked. But at the time, it sucked.
Well, it was the same guy who did Independence Day, wasn't it? It was a Roland Emmerich film. Tommy Lee Cadden is saying Nightmare on Elm Street 2 and Friday the 13th Part 2, a massive step down. Well, I mean, Friday the 13th Part 2 did introduce Jason, who's not in the first one, because it's not him. Sorry, spoilers. Nightmare on Elm Street 2, they got rid of Nancy, and for some reason, she's still alive, because she came back in fucking Freddy's Dead, didn't she? Heather Locklear, her name is, or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
Like that. Someone's going to tell me in the chat what her actual name is. But again, obvious cash grabs. And here's my thought on sequels. So, as you know, I've sent you this.
That's it.
Did I send you the script for Tallyman?
Is that the one in London with the kids going down
Liverpool? Yeah.
Liverpool. Yeah. That's good. That's good.
So that's written as the first part of a trilogy. So I have the sequels all mapped out. So I know exactly where they're going to go and what's going to happen. And I want it to be a good standalone film if the sequels never get made. But I have the sequels, and it's not just going to be a cash grab. I'm not just going to remake the first movie. In fact, they're three different genres. One of the things I loved about Alien and Aliens is they're set in the same universe with the same monsters, same lead character. And they're two very, very different movies. They're completely different genres. I mean, they're sci-fi, but they're two very, very different films. And I love that. I really like the idea of doing a sequel that is very different from the original.
I think though, like the Sci-Fi Channel has a massive reputation. It cancels so many season stuff when people are getting into it. So I'm watching so all the Battlestar Galactica stuff that we all love, the remake, the revisioning, which is the dog's bollocks.
Yeah.
So I'm watching Caprica, which was one season got cancelled by the Sci-Fi Channel.
To Battlestar.
It is. So it's set 55 years before the fall, as they call it, but also like 25 years before the first war.
I watched the first episode of that. Was it good?
I'm on episode 6, 7 of it. It's not what you expect. Let's put it that way. So it's about the company that makes the first Cylons, right? So it's how it comes up with the AI and blah blah blah, and it's unusual. It's nice that Bear McCreary does the music for it again. So you got all the drums, bum 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 bum, colonial music, and that's quite nice. And there's a piece of colonial music in Battlestar Galactica that always makes me cry. It's in one of the famous episodes where they all go on a big battle and they all come back and they all celebrate like Spitfire pilots at the war, and they all get carried out of their Vipers, and they've just beaten the shit out of the Cylons, and it's really emotional scene, and they play this colonial music. Well, a little bit of that gets played in Caprica, and I started to tear. And Emma looked at me and went, "What are you tearing up about now?" I said, "It's the colonial music of the battle, and they all survived, and it was really good." But anyway, it's emotional because it is, you recognize all the architecture, the colonial music, the rivalries between the 12 colonies. It's really nice, but it's one season and Sci-Fi Channel cancelled it, and they do that a lot on stuff you really get into, and Bastards. That really, The Expanse is a great sci-fi, though. As I say, it's one of the best ones.
Dog 4x4 is saying Doctor Sleep is a good sequel to The Shining. I quite like Doctor Sleep, but the only reason why I quite like Doctor Sleep is that one of the vampires. Well, she's not a vampire, is she? But one of the leader of the people who, they're vampires, aren't they? Basically, they harvest people who have the Shining. They eat you if you have the Shining. Is played by Rebecca Ferguson.
Okay,
I'll just watch anything with her in. Much easier on the eye than Wendy. I'm sorry, Wendy, from the original. It's to Shining. Do you know why Stephen King hated the Stanley Kubrick adaptation?
Go on.
Because he hated the Wendy character in it.
Oh, right.
She's written in the book as a strong, capable character with agency, whereas in the film she's just like
right
all the time. Shelley Duvall.
Yeah, Robert Duvall's daughter.
Sorry,
Robert Duvall's daughter.
Maybe I don't know. Robert Duvall, is he still going?
I think he's passed now.
Is he?
I thought he died.
We should do that as a game, shouldn't we? Like Dead or Alive. No, he's still alive. 94 years old.
Whoa.
So what was his first acting credit?
Go on.
To Kill a Mockingbird. He played Boo Radley.
Oh, goodness.
To Kill a Mockingbird. That is that's a great movie. Gregory Peck.
The last thing he was in a sci-fi film. He was in Armageddon, and then there was the sort of they did. Remember, it was Mission to Mars and Mars, and then the Red Planet, and then it was Armageddon, and the one with the sea and the where he has to go out with all the young the NASA astronauts, and they all hate him because he's old, and he's the one that comes up with the idea to save the world, and blah blah blah. Of course, but he was in that. Somebody in the chat will get it. It was Armageddon and this other disaster film.
What in the 1990s?
Yeah, there were. Do you remember? There were loads of
Deep Impact.
Deep Impact
with Elijah Wood.
Yeah, he was.
I wouldn't. Hey, dun 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 dun. Shelley Duvall. Sorry, I was looking up Shelley Duvall. No, she's
not
passed
related.
away last year, and she's no relation. Like Audrey and Katharine Hepburn.
We'll do an episode on Alive or Dead. We should do that.
Deep Impact. Shelley Duvall has popped her clogs. She has. Unbreakable or Glass? Well, Unbreakable's better, but
I've only seen Unbreakable. Weirdly,
Glass was pretty bad, but then the one that he did at the end. Actually, no, because Glass is the third one, isn't it? Because it's Unbreakable, and then that's the one with the fawn from Lion Witch in the Wardrobe, who played young Xavier.
Yeah.
What's his name? Scottish actor. The Last King of Scotland. Help. Someone help in the chat. I'm having a mental black. The fawn from the foot. Anyway, it's got him in it. Sorry, what was I talking about? I've completely forgotten. Split. That's it. Split. Yeah. Thank you, Sarah. So Split was a secret sequel to Unbreakable because you didn't know it was set in the same universe until the post-credit sequence, I think. Spoilers, sorry. And then Glass was the third one, and it is fucking awful. It is just absolute garbage, and I just feel really sorry for Bruce Willis and for Samuel L. Jackson and to the girl with her eyes too far apart out of the chest thing. Just I feel sorry for them.
But it's what I call ring out films, right? So where they do something good, like
James McAvoy.
Yeah,
sorry,
James McAvoy, King of Scotland. So they do like the Magnificent Seven, and then they do the Magnificent Seven ride, and the Magnificent Seven ride again, or a Dirty Dozen, another Dirty Dozen, the Dirty Devil. It's where they kind of squeeze the franchise a little bit more. You know, it's like I don't know. It's probably not the best thing to do. I saw update. So we talked about Wild Geese a couple of weeks ago, and I said Wild Geese 2 was probably a really, really bad film. And I had seen it a long time ago and thought it was really bad. So I sat and watched it. It's a long film. It's got loads of famous people in it.
Yeah.
I mean, Laurence Olivier is in Wild Geese 2. And so is James Fox. And anyway, I watched it. It wasn't a good film. So when I start tapping on my phone when I'm watching a film, it's a bad sign I'm not enjoying the film. And I was tapping on my phone. So so I did get through the Wild Geese 2. So that is not a good. That's not better than the first.
Yeah. What was it? I was just thinking of a movie then, and it just went out my head. That is a film. Blade Runner. Blade Runner 2049. Now, I'm not going to say it's better than Blade Runner because just like with Star Wars and Mad Max, it really did set it set it all up. But I thought Blade Runner 2049 was fucking gorgeous. Denis Villeneuve, it's one of my favorite directors working in Hollywood today. He really knows how to build a world and make it visceral and make it like you feel completely immersed in his films. I think he's one of the best film directors since Stanley Kubrick. I really do.
I know we've had this conversation because I hated it first time I saw it. My wife is, as I've said, has every cut of Blade Runner, and then we went to see it in the cinema and we were like, oh, what the fuck? There's a fight scene and Decker sits there and doesn't do anything. And anyway, then we watched it again. We bought it on 4K and we watched it again together and we loved it. And then realized that Decker was handcuffed to the chair, just waiting for fight.
Yeah.
And I told you about the Elvis bit. You wanted more of that Elvis, that virtual Elvis in the hotel, that hotel inside the nuclear zone. And I loved it, and you just really took you in a number of directions that were just, and I don't know why the first time I think I went in with such a high expectation that was nothing could meet it.
Yeah.
And when we actually came back to it and revisited it and watched it in our own time,
fucking stunning. It really is. I mean, it's apocalyptic. It's an awful way of life, but just I love immersive stuff. When I watch something, I feel like I'm in another world. I'm in another place, another time. I fucking love it. Blade Runner. More love coming in for Paddington. Paddington 2's got Hugh Grant in it, and Paddington goes to jail, and it's just really funny and sweet.
Well, he's having he's not doing any of the nice romantic. He's been an Oompa Loompa, as we talked about. He's been in Gentleman. He's a seedy guy. Can I sleep with you? I'm not gay. That doesn't matter. Kind of seedy guy. and then he's I watched him playing some billionaire in some tech billionaire evil film the other day, and he's a tech kind of guy financing.
He's just having the time of his life at the moment. He's just living his best life. I love him.
He's in that now, that new horror film with the two.
Heretic.
Yeah. It's on my list.
I know there were loads of Muppet films before, right?
Oh no.
And obviously Muppet Christmas Carol is the best adaptation of Christmas Carol, and I'm not going to have any argument otherwise. But I enjoyed Muppets Most Wanted more than I enjoyed the new Muppet movie, but the song's done by Brett from the Flight of the Conchords. So although I did enjoy the new Muppet movie, the sequel to the new Muppet movie, Muppets Most Wanted, I just thought it was a fucking delight. And similar to Paddington 2, they end up in jail, but they're in Russia. Like some Siberian gulag that the Muppets end up. It's very, very silly and very funny and just delightfully daft. And I love it.
Hello, everybody. My name is Rachel. Hello, Rachel. I am here to confess I've never watched the Muppet film.
Tommy says my only gripe with Blade Runner 2049 is it doesn't have that noir feeling the original does.
Fighting talk.
Well, I think that's mostly because the original it's all in nighttime and neon and it's raining. Whereas,
I mean, it was like being in Glasgow. It rains all the time every time I've gone to Glasgow. I think it in a way the world looked better in 2049. Don't you think it?
Yeah.
Because everybody had left and everybody that couldn't leave was still behind and it was raining and it was run down and the corporate. But in 2049, the world looked a bit smarter, right? I mean, apart from the nuclear zone that Decker's hiding in, but the world looked a little bit smarter. But maybe that was because you're going to the billionaire that's building the replicants, and you're going to. Maybe it's because I don't know.
It felt like it opened the world up.
Yeah,
compared with the first one, which just feel, although it's
like a good video game,
it did feel like it was quite claustrophobic.
Yeah,
even though it had these amazing expanses. Also, the sequel didn't have music by Vangelis. Oh, that is. I mean, there's a few soundtrack albums that I own, and 1492.
It's a bit weird though, that album. I've got the soundtrack. And it's all really atmospheric, and then it's like more kiss, dear, one more
side. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime girl.
It's in his, but he's on his flat and he's playing on his piano, and it's just there, but it's in the background when he plays it.
The soundtrack of Blade Runner, the original, is so like what we thought the future would sound like in the 80s, and it just wouldn't work now.
Yeah,
because we're living in the future,
and we're still playing 80s music.
Yes, we're still playing fucking Banana Rama. What the hell's wrong with us? Shagadoogu.
Music stopped in 1995.
Music was by Ennio Morricone, not Vangelis, and I will fight you on this. It was Vangelis. I know because I've got the album here. I don't actually have the album here.
Unless it was Morricone in the new film, but
no, it wasn't. I think he passed away by then. He passed away. But it wasn't that long. We lost Angela and Badalamenti, who did the music for Twin Peaks. We lost Vangelis and we lost Ennio Morricone.
Yeah,
I mean, sort of feels like quick succession. But I'm a big, huge fan of Ennio Morricone as well. He's one of the best music composers. Do you ever watch Cinema Sins on Everything Wrong With on YouTube, where they go through films like with a fine-tooth comb and pick every little problem with it? It's really fun. It's a fun little series. And they did one for The Hateful Eight, and sometimes they take sins off a film. So because it's like a reverse bell sound, and they take the sins away. And when The Hateful Eight, it comes up with music by Ennio Morricone. It just goes ding 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 ding, like takes the sins away. It's like, I'll take all the sins away from this movie.
I cleanse you.
The Vangelis soundtrack to Chariots of Fire, obviously everyone's heard that a million times, probably got a bit old hat. He did the music for the 1980s version of Mutiny on the Bounty, which was called The Bounty, that had Anthony Hopkins and
Anthony Hopkins, hello,
Mel Gibson in.
Oh, Mel Gibson, yes.
That was my least favourite bounty.
Oh dear. Oh, you're going to support Trump in a few years' time. Not going to like that. Oh no. Yes. I think the original one with Trevor Howard and Marlon Brando was probably one of the best ones.
Yeah. God, Darian DeStar says John Williams must be nervous. John Williams, I mean, that guy, as for making up theme tunes for stuff, he is a god. Like, just knocked it out the parks. Jaws was his first big movie, I think.
Yeah.
Music for Jaws, and then he did Star Wars, famously did Superman, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Jurassic Park, the Harry Potter theme. I mean,
Jurassic Park's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely fucking brilliant composer.
Exactly. So we saw a joke we cracked the other week about Danny Elfman doing Star Wars.
And his son was the lead singer of Toto, who sung Africa.
Well, there you go.
Nepo babies, we make our dreams come true.
John Barry, you can't get enough John Barry, right?
Oh, John Barry, very good as well.
Yeah. I mean, he's my
but
favorite.
the soundtrack to the new Blade Runner film, Blade Runner 2049, that was Hans Zimmer, who I have a lot of time for.
Gladiator. I love the Gladiator music. I like that.
Yeah.
I love there's a song called Earth, which is the sort of leads into the main song. I like that. It's really nice. Earth is when you go into Classic FM. I don't know if anybody listens to it. I listen to it when I go to bed. And they've only got 3 records at Classic FM. One of them is Earth.
I saw a skit. You know the guy just the room next door, Michael McSpicer, or whatever his name is, Michael Spicer. He did a skit where he's sitting in the car and he's like listening to Radio 3, and it's like, now we're going to be taking the third opus from the overture of Tchaikovsky, from the Matador of Rubinov, and it was played originally in the Lighthouse of Alexandria back in 1748 for an audience which involved. And he just turns over to Classic FM, and it's like, here's the music from that advert you like.
That used to be a gag of mine. It was like Nessun Dorma from it was on the football in the World Cup. Do you remember Nessun Dorma?
It was 1990, Italia 90.
Yeah, that's right. And I went, I'm Edgy McCabe. I remember when it was a tyre advert music, because when this big Lamborghini Countach drives to a mountainside because the world stopped spinning, and it's with its Pirelli tyres, it lanks onto this big disc, and it goes, and it's because it's Pirelli tyres, it grips, and the world starts to turn. And Nessun Dorma's the music.
Oh, wow.
See, I was Edgy McCabe because I knew it was before it was the World Cup.
I still remember the tyre ad. And I'm going to say I think it was Goodyear. If it wasn't Goodyear, I feel sorry for the people who spent loads of money getting this ad together. But it was like, it was Venus in Furs by the Velvet Underground, Lou Reed.
Oh, yeah.
Velvet Underground was the soundtrack. And it was all like S&M. It was all like people dressed in S&M rubber. With like spikes coming off them. Like Mad Max style sort of stuff.
Nice.
And it was all like, beautifully shot. I hope it was an advert for Goodyear. If it was an advert for Dunlop, I feel like
it's just been a Saturday night for you, really.
Yeah, it could have been. I listened to those 2 new stations, Classic FM, Calm, and Radio 3 Unwind. Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Hang on, sequels, Jaws 2 and Superman 2. So, Superman 2, come on. It had Zod in it. It had Terrence Stamp.
Yeah.
Kneel before Zod.
Kneel before Zod.
I like your flashing red light. It reminds me of the son of Krypton.
Yeah.
I will take it. just so stupid. Good God! No. Zod.
I'm going to play the Graham Hughes defense and say it's good, but you couldn't have done it without the first. And
I think the first one's way better, to be honest with you. Jaws 2, terrible. Jaws is the absolute epitome of the law of diminishing diminishing returns.
Yeah, 2 was bad. 3, everybody died because the kid kept falling in the water. 4 was 3D. I mean, it was like with yellow and green glasses. Whatever it was.
I thought the third one was 3D. I thought it was Jaws 3D, and then it was for revenge.
Oh, it might have been.
Because a shark took revenge. It got so upset by what happened in Amity.
It all just got
it then swam through the Panama Canal to the other side of America to avenge its friend by trying to kill the wife of Roy Schneider because Roy Schneider's not in it. Like, okay,
yeah, he was flying Blue Thunder.
If you look at if you chart it, I mean, it's probably changed now because people put reviews on, and say, oh, actually, if you watch it backwards, it's really good. If you watch it backwards, upside down, and stand on your head, it's really good. But there was a time when it was like Jaws 1, Rotten Tomatoes score 100%. Jaws 2, 66%. Jaws 3, 33%. George 4, The Revenge, 0%. Just a straight line on a graph, just like.
Curse. Yeah, it was not good.
Yes, but did they get a bigger boat?
Did they get a bigger boat?
Has Friday the 13th been covered? 4 is the best. I will agree with that. Even though it was called The Final Chapter, and it wasn't the final chapter, not by a long chalk, but that had Corey Feldman in it, and he realised that to defeat Jason, he had to become Jason. And he's just a little kid in it, and he shaves his head, and then he kills Jason because he shaved his head. And he's become Jason. Sorry, spoilers. But the final chapter, which wasn't the final chapter, brilliant. Number 5, A New Beginning. Wasn't Jason again. Wasn't Jason in the first movie. Wasn't Jason in the fifth.
You know your horror genre, don't you?
It was like a cop or something. It had Via out of Babylon 5 in it. And it was in 3D actually. It was and
proper 3D or red and yellow.
Oh, just you have to wear stupid glasses, and they'll hold things out to the camera. There's a bit where someone's got a stick, and they put the stick towards the camera, so everyone goes, "Oh, I'm gonna hit me by a stick!" And then there's like a shot with Jason, and he flings down the knife. But obviously, because he's wearing a mask, you don't know that it's not Jason.
Actually, almost works in Zoom. No.
In the next one, Corey Feldman's character's grown up and become a completely different human, and the actor who's now playing that character digs up. He keeps on having these dreams about Jason attacking him, so he digs up Jason's corpse to make sure he's dead, which is never a good idea because he decides to do this in the middle of a thunderstorm, and he goes, "Oh God, I'm so angry at this guy still," and then he stabs him with a metal pole. And then lightning hits the metal pole, and Jason just sits up and comes and attacks.
Rookie mistake when you're digging up.
Rookie mistake. But at least that's not as daft as in, I think it's in Dream Warriors, which is the third Nightmare on Elm Street film, where Freddy is resurrected by a dog pissing fire on him. The 80s were a wild time.
They were a wild time.
Everyone was off their tits on cocaine. What can I say? It doesn't need to make any sense whatsoever. John Carpenter's The Fog is a great Halloween 2.
The first Fog was excellent. The proper, not the copy. The first one was terrifying.
Yeah. You know what? Scream 2, not too bad. Not too bad.
All right.
Not brilliant, but as sequels go, it was okay. It was okay. I will accept it.
Brilliant.
So what have we got? What have we got left? Have you got any more on your list?
I have to go soon, but you have my 15, and
okay.
Some of the socialites came up with better ones. So there you
go. We've had Mad Max 2, Evil Dead 2, Star Trek 2, Star Wars 5, Aliens, Terminator 2, June 2, Fellowship of the Ring, Top Gun, Patriot Games, Claim Best in Danger. Yes, Prime Minister. Silence of the Lambs, which is way better than Manhunter, and I'll fight anyone.
Definitely.
Manhunter's shit. Like, I'm sorry, there were some huge Michael Mann fans out there who think he's God on earth. I don't really like his stuff. I don't know why. It just makes me feel a bit ick. I don't like Heat. Not a big fan. I know we waited years to have Al Pacino and
hoo-ha.
And Robert De Niro and Al Pacino in the same film together, actually having a conversation. And just to bring it onto the last thing I wanted to talk about, The Godfather Part 2, which they're both in, but they don't share a scene because it's set in different time zones. Godfather 2, I think, is better than Godfather.
And I agree. And I have that with you. I have that as well.
Oh, I thought you said you did them all.
I did. Sorry, I did do them all. But Godfather 2, somebody else mentioned it in the chat, so I thought you covered it. But I agree. Godfather 2 is better than Godfather 1.
Yeah. Hellraiser 2, no, Hellraiser 1 was better. Predator 2, absolutely not. No way. Not a chance in hell. Predator
Kick him out the
1.
chat. Who said that? Kick him out.
Predator 1 is one of the best movies of the 1980s. Yeah. It's one of those films that just gets better on each view because it starts off with these like muscle men all showing off the muscles in the fucking jungle. And they're like, let's go kill some foreigners. Like every other movie in the 80s. And then it ends with Arnold Schwarzenegger. All his mates are dead. And he's just like looking out of the helicopter like, traumatized.
That's a great quote. It's like 200 yards spread, no sound, or I know these man, they're from 614th Bragg, or get to the chopper, or he can't see me. There's some great lines in that. You can't go wrong.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got a good list. We've got a good list, I think. Hustler, Colour of Money, Paddington 2, Blade Runner, One Prince Most Wanted, Godfather 2. There you go. All right, we're going to have to go. Rachel's got things to do.
Well, only because my wife is cooking me dinner, and whereas there might be a bottle of Prosecco in it, so, you know.
Catherine's away tonight. I'm on my own. I normally get Ben round. I was going to go and see Ballerina, the new Ana de Armas film in the world of John Wick. But he's got better things to do, the bastard. That's what he said.
Well, you watch a film that nobody likes on your own. That's what I do. When my wife goes away, when my wife goes away, I watch all the stuff that I know she would really
Well, that's when Ben comes around, we watch horror movies because I know that she would hate.
Well, the good thing is that our Amazon account is registered to her bank account, so I didn't download a film, pay for it, watch it, and she gets it on her credit card.
Before you go, scariest film I've ever seen. Watched it last week with Ben. The Fall.
Okay.
It's about two stupid girls who go and climb this 1,800 feet rusting TV mast in the middle of the desert, and they get to the top and the ladder falls away.
Oh no!
And they can't get a mobile phone signal.
On the top of a mast.
On the top of a mast.
Okay.
And it's windy, and there's birds, and they need water, they need food, they need to get down.
Okay.
Man, I didn't have acrophobia, but now I fucking do after watching that movie.
Oh my god. Okay. It's a bit like the guy gets his arm stuck in the crevice and he has to
127 hours. Yeah. God, he was stuck there for I don't know how long, but yeah. Seemed like a long time. Sarah asks how my back is. It's a lot better than it was yesterday. It's got better throughout the day. I think being up and about and moving a bit has helped. So if it was still killing me tomorrow, I would have gone to the doctors.
And I did give him the offer of not coming on this evening, and he still the Nurofen kicked in, and he wanted to come.
Sarah's saying that triggers my vertigo. Do not watch the film. Do not. Honestly, my heart was in my mouth watching this movie. I'm not scared of any horror films when it's supernatural, because I don't believe in ghosts and goblins and demons and things. But when it's stuff that can actually fucking happen, like Speak No Evil, like Eden Lake, like The Fall, I'm like, yeah.
Eden Lake's terrifying. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. Right, Rachel.
Okay.
I'll let you go, so you don't have to eat
Very
yourself.
welcome.
You can go and eat your food.
Thank you for the super chats, and thank you for everybody for contributing to our manic film review.
We're just having fun. Anything but politics.
Always having fun. Yeah.
If you do like the politics, I will be back with that tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. for the morning brew. So hopefully I'll see you then. And until then, like Rachel said, thank you very much for watching. Thanks for the super chats. And until next time, I'll say hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.